Hi and welcome to Outwell. Here I'm going to talk you through the features of our Cleveland 6P, which is from our Evolution collection. You can see here that it's a tunnel design tent which is aimed to sleep up to 6 people. With it being in our Evolution collection, you'll find the fly sheet we're using on here is our Outex 4000. This is a polyester material which has been PU coated. It has fully taped seams and a hydrostatic head of 4000mm, ensuring that it is completely waterproof. The frame that we're using here is made up of our Duratec fiberglass poles, so nice and strong, stable poles here. And you can just see all the way across the top that these are fed into flat pole sleeves, so that creates a real sleek and streamlined look to the tent. Other features that you'll find, we have our innovative Outwell Wind Stabilizer System on here. So we'll just show you how that works. We have these Velcro tabs directly attached to the fly sheet. These are then wrapped around the poles and then Velcro tabbed in place. You see that there's one at the top and at the bottom of every pole down the side of the tent. These are then attached to our guylines, and when the guylines are pegged out, it brings the whole fly sheet against the frame of the tent, making the whole tent much more stable, making sure that you can use it even in high wind conditions. All of the guylines themselves are our Outwell luminous guylines, so hopefully you're not going to trip over these quite as easily. And you'll also find that each guyline has its own retainer, so when it comes to packing down the tent, we can just roll up the guyline in our hand and pop it in here so that the next time we come to use the tent, these are going to be easily accessible. We're also using our Easy Pegging System on this tent, so that's where we supply you with 3 different styles of pegs. We have our steel peg here, which is for all the corners of the tent, so these become your anchor pegs. We then have our luminous plastic pegs for all of the luminous guylines, and we have our black plastic pegs for all the rest of the pegging points. So the Easy Pegging System just ensures that you get the right peg in the right place. Some other features then, we have some large ventilation panels down the sides of the tent and around the back as well. This just allows cool fresh air in here on a hot day. If it gets a little bit chilly though, we can just get rid of these simply by removing the Velcro tabs like this. Around the front of the tent, you'll then find that we have these mud valances, which are here just to help water run away from the inside of the tent if it's raining. When we get round to the front, you'll see there's a real good sized front door on here. Certainly full walk-in height and wide enough to make it very simple and easy for you to get all of your storage and furniture and things like this into the tent. We then have our Panorama Room at the front here. So this is where the tent is curved all the way around, and then each panel has its own individual window. We then have a curtain for every single window as well, so you can either toggle these halfway up or they can be fully closed as well. Just across the top of the windows is where you'll find the mesh ventilation panel that we mentioned on the outside. The ground sheet in this area is a detachable ground sheet, and it's just toggled into position, but the material we're using here is a double coated polyethylene, so it's really tough and durable, and it has a hydrostatic head of at least 10,000mm. Then the ground sheet in the rear of the tent in the main living section is the exact same material, but the only difference is that it's fully sealed all the way around each side, ensuring that it's not going to allow any drafts in, and hopefully it's going to keep out those unwanted bugs as well. Stepping into the tent itself, there's plenty of space in here. You can see there's lots of headroom above me, and I'm about 1.95 m tall, and certainly enough space for tables and chairs and things like this as well. We have a lantern hanging point at the top in the middle of the tent here, and then we also have some cable tidies which just run down away from the lantern hanging point down to our cable entry point, where we can bring in electrics or cables through here rather than having them running through any open doors. Speaking of doors, we'll just see here that we have a large side door on the tent as well, and you can see at the top there is a mesh door here, so we can roll up the door on the outside and then zip this one down to create great ventilation within the tent. There is more ventilation on the dividing wall here, you can see just here, and there's a curtain behind this as well that can be zipped over. If you want to though, a nice feature here is that you can open this door completely, creating one large space, or obviously you can have it fully closed over as well. At the back of the tent is where you'll find the bedrooms, and as I mentioned earlier on, these sleep up to 6 people. The configuration is a 1-person, we then have a 2-person and a 3-person. The bedrooms come pre-attached, but you can see here the way that they're attached to the tent is using our wave-shaped hanging point system. This just takes away any stress points across the seam at the top, making sure that the bedrooms will hang securely in place. Some other details on the outside, we have some mesh pockets for smaller personal possessions. Each of the doors has its own mesh panel. And just show you a bit of detail on the zips here, where we have the colour coordinated piping, which allows us simply to open and close the zips very easily without the zips catching on any material. We also then have our universal bedroom just on the smaller bedroom here, so we can get rid of this just simply by unclipping, and if we did that around the front and around the back, you take the zips that are in between here, you can see that we would be able to just drop this whole thing down, roll it away and clip it closed, leaving yourself with 2 bedrooms. Within the bedrooms themselves we have some more features, including some storage pockets in each of them. We also then have a large mesh ventilation panel which corresponds to outside ventilation, and you'll see here that the bedrooms are then separated with these sheets of material which can be opened up to create one large bedroom. So there's a few optional extras available for the tent, including a carpet for the living space here and a footprint to go under the tent as well. That's all the features of our Cleveland 6P. Thank you very much for watching.